So if you are trying out my chrome Tanglewood Sue-per Shifters for the first time, you will notice they are opaque, unlike the other shifters. But there's some tips and tricks I want to tell you about. So they will show your brush strokes. So I've been testing out just having fun with that and using different brushes and creating different effects, because when you create the swirls, see right there, you can see the shift in the brush stroke. Isn't that cool? All right, I did an entire chair this way, but for now, I want to show you a different way. So I'm just putting on the chromes, just all over, not even thinking about it, willy-nilly. See how you can see? It's like dragging through carpet. So what I do is I use a soft bristled brush and I stipple. Okay, if you don't know what stippling is, it's kind of like stabbing, but gentler and more lovingly. And do you see what I've done? I've kind of taken out almost all the brush strokes. I'm going to keep going at it here. And so you're kind of creating a texture on there that's like suede. And what's really cool about that is that if you let it dry overnight, you can actually go in with another color, another wax color right on top of your first layer, just like you would paint. Now don't press too hard. We don't want to reconstitute the wax underneath, but just use a gentle touch. And this is how you can create some really beautiful layered effects. Here, I'm kind of going for sunset, clouds at sunset. I know that's just one of my favorite things, but the way it catches the light, you can see it here. Anyway, have fun with this. Try it out. Let me know what you think. So Sue, if these are waxes and not paint, what stops it from coming right off? I get this question all the time. Buffing, my friends. Buffing or curing. So you can use a dry rag or one of these brushes. This one actually attaches to a drill. The rag works really great, but the brush is super great because it can get into all those little nooks and crannies. Look at the difference here. As soon as you start to go, this is so satisfying. It's now glistening and reflective, and the colors pop even harder than they did before. It's best to wait overnight so you don't run the risk of pulling up any of the wax that you just lovingly applied. And here I want to show you what happens when you buff the chromes. Oh my gosh, because the chromes are a little bit matte. They're not as sparkly or glistening, but when you buff them, it's like a psychedelic mirror. Super shifters do not need an additional top coat unless they're going outside, and I'll show you how to do that in the next video. All right, let's talk top coats on top of super shifters. Do you absolutely need them? No, you don't. The only exception I'll make is if you're putting your piece outside, which can be very cool, or it's getting a lot of use, like the top of a dresser or a tabletop. So if you do want to seal your shifters, you just got to remember one thing. You got to wait, my friend. And waiting is not fun, but you got to do it because these are oil-based waxes. Most top coats are water-based. All that means is just let it cure. Wait a couple weeks, let it off gas, and then you can put a water-based product right on top of an oil-based product. So this is a sample that I made that I actually put a gloss top coat on. Let me explain how we're going to do it. All right, I have a chrome shifter on this sample. It's fully cured, and now I'm going to do a little test because I want to see the difference between putting satin on. So I'm going to put satin on the left. Check that out. And then I'm going to put high gloss on the right. I just want to see what happens because this has already been buffed and it's already shiny. So look at this. That's the right. That's the high gloss. And on the left, it's so subtle. It's very subtle. But if you do want to tone down the shiny, you could use satin. I don't want to tone anything down ever. Anytime, anywhere, any place. So I'm putting on the gloss. But here's what I want to caution you about, you guys. I should have used a bigger brush so I wasn't getting it all stuck in the nooks and crannies. So here I'm getting a bigger brush. But y'all, it's 100 degrees today. This is not when you should be using gloss products. Do you see that milkiness? Luckily, it dried clear. But if it is hot, just walk away. And certainly don't overwork it. You put that shit on, you let it sit. Don't go back and forth. Look at me. I'm trying to resist the urge because it will get milky and it will dry and it will get gunky and you will hate it. So luckily I stepped away and ba-bam, y'all. So the right side is just buffed. The left side is a clear coat. Hey, I think they both look great.